So thank you for hosting us, Governor. We appreciate that very, very much. 2 more seconds. My wife tried this one. This is going to be a little tougher because she's precise. Again, thank you, Governor. Governor Kelly was sworn in as the 48th Governor of Kansas on January 14, 2019. The Governor was raised in a military family where she learned the importance of service, integrity, and accountability. She served as a state senator for 4 terms, representing the capital city in the Kansas Senate. In the Senate, Governor Kelly was considered to be an advocate for fiscal responsibility, balanced budgets, and requiring entities receiving appropriations to be answerable to the taxpayers. The Governor and her husband, Ted, have been married for 36 years and have 2 children. Governor Kelly, we thank you for all you have done for the state of Kansas, especially in this pandemic. We admire your leadership. And with that, Governor Kelly.
Thank you, General Myers. I very much appreciate that. And not only is Ted my husband, but he's also my hairstylist. Good afternoon, everybody. As we prepared for today, I want you to know how much I appreciated that the briefing materials your team sent over arrived in appropriately shaded purple text. Because this is a day for Purple Pride. We welcome a brief respite from the months of bad news in order to celebrate what it means to be a Wildcat, and in doing so, what it means to be a Kansan. Before I move further, I want to first extend my heartfelt congratulations to the entire class of 2020. Whether you're a Wildcat, a Jayhawk, a Shocker, a Tiger, a Gorilla, a Hornet, or an Ichabod, or if you're a high school graduate. Few rites of passage carry more pride and prestige than commencement. While the conferring of degrees is a ceremony steeped in centuries of tradition, the pomp and circumstances hold deeply personal, unique meanings for each graduate, in addition to each graduate's family. Those 2 or 3 seconds when moms and dads and grandparents finally hear their graduate's name and watch them walk across in full regalia, it's a generational moment of truth. COVID-19 has stolen so much from us in such a short period of time. I share in your heartbreak that graduation day will not transpire the way we always imagined it would, at least not yet. But I want the class of 2020 to know how proud we are of you. I know I speak for all our educational institutions when I say that we eagerly await the day when we may celebrate your achievements and honor your sacrifices properly, in person, after the threat of this pandemic subsides. President Myers and I are here today to confer 1 degree to a Kansan who has inspired millions in recent weeks. Dennis Ruhnke, Troy, Kansas. I became familiar with Dennis the same way most of the country met him on national television when New York Governor Andrew Cuomo shared the priceless message of generosity that accompanied the single N95 mask that Dennis contributed to a New York doctor or nurse. Afterward, I called Dennis to thank him for serving as such an exceptional ambassador for Kansas. He provided a dose of inspiration and strength to America, just as we felt ourselves beginning to buckle under the crushing, prolonged weight of this crisis. Throughout our conversation and through several additional conversations we've had with the entire Ruhnke family, it became clear how Dennis became, in Governor Cuomo's words, to be a snapshot of humanity. I'd like to share a little bit of that story with you today. 53 years ago, and 18-year-old Dennis Ruhnke, son of Ruth and Walt, found himself at a juncture that will feel familiar to the high school class of 2020. In 1967, it was his moment to leave the familiarity and the security of youth behind to embark on the next chapter in life as a college freshman at Kansas State University. College is an adventure unto itself, even under the most uneventful circumstances. Lots of words can be used to describe the time period Dennis spent at Kansas State University, beginning in 1967. Uneventful is not one of those words. Nationally, the era was marked by unparalleled activism and unrest as young people across the nation protested the Vietnam War, marched for civil rights, and rallied for women's equality. It was a time of political turmoil, generational divides, and cultural reckoning. By chance, Dennis's tenure as an undergraduate student at Kansas State University coincided with visits by some of the most influential leaders and thinkers of the 21st century. The now famous Alf Landon Lecture Series brought its inaugural slate of speakers to campus in 1967, including then California Governor Ronald Reagan, Michigan Governor George Romney, and famous historian Arthur Schlesinger Jr. Computer-age management tools crept their way into agricultural marketing and processing, revolutionizing agribusiness operations and the manner in which it was taught. University construction entered its largest period of expansion in 2 decades. Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy made famous visits to the campus only months before they were assassinated. On a lighter note, even the entertainers who made their way to campus ranked among the movers and shakers of the day, including the likes of Harry Belafonte, Three Dog Night, and the Temptations. By Dennis's final year in 1971, societal currents swept over Kansas campuses along with the rest of the nation. In fact, just down the road at the University of Kansas, uprisings reached such a violent crescendo that Governor Robert Docking declared a state of emergency and deployed the Kansas National Guard. A student need not be politically active or to affiliate with a specific political party to recognize the magnitude and historical consequences of events unfolding throughout Dennis's college years. It was an unexpected moment to begin adulthood in earnest. It was also amid this loud national firestorm that Dennis faced an unexpected personal crisis of his own. Just as he was nearing the finish line of his college experience, Dennis's father, Walt, suddenly passed away at the age of 59. And although he fell just 2 credits shy from earning his degree, Dennis made the difficult choice not to return to campus for his final semester. Instead, he returned to Troy, Kansas, as the dutiful son to run the family farm. Dennis and his sister Bonnie were the first generation college students. And although he never doubted that he made the right decision for his family in 1971, he could not quite shake the disappointment of not finishing what he had started. Over the years, Dennis watched and celebrated as his sister, his wife, and his 2 sons walked across the stage in cap and gown at their own commencement ceremonies. He longed to reach this milestone for himself before his grandson became old enough to attend college. As we learned in recent weeks, Dennis is a doer. A little over a decade ago, he attempted to complete the missing piece of coursework that would have brought the journey to its rightful end. Sadly, by this point, the course was no longer offered. Even worse, after the passage of so much time, he would have had to start from scratch in order to obtain his degree. Given the insurmountable obstacles such an endeavor posed for a retired farmer in Troy, Kansas, Dennis quietly filed the dream away. When he returned home in 1971, he built a beautiful, happy family with his wife, Shirley. Shirley, professional in her own right, recently retired after 45 years as a public school teacher, 5th grade. They raised 2 sons, Corey and Josh, and they are proud, doting grandparents. The 4 years Dennis spent studying agriculture at Kansas State University gave him the skills he needed to successfully run the family farm for over 4 decades. He found deep contentment in this work and survived the devastating booms and busts of the decades. His family notes that he particularly delighted in all the new ways advancing technology made the industry more precise and helped reduce production costs. Over the years, Dennis taught his sons to work hard and live by example. His son Josh recently shared that his dad was known to provide free room and board to his farm hands when they fell on hard times. Once he even turned his office into a makeshift daycare so his mechanic could keep an eye on his kids through the glass windows while doing his work. Dennis also has found joy in life's simple pleasures. Rumor has it, he's a fan of science fiction and comic books. And as we've come to learn in recent days, he's a believer in the good, old-fashioned, handwritten note. In fact, although Dennis did not share the letter with his family before he mailed it off to New York, his son knew exactly who the Northeast Kansas farmer was as soon as a picture of the letter appeared online, joking that he could have picked out that chicken scratch anywhere. Dennis's life journey may have taken an unexpected turn in 1971, but he took the lessons he learned at K-State to heart. I'm not talking about agricultural technology or management, agronomy, or animal sciences, although those things surely played a role in his success. I'm talking about what K-Staters call the Wildcat Way. It's having each other's backs. It's choosing to take risks, recovering from defeat, and winning with humility. It's about embracing challenges together. It's about family. When you know a little bit about who Dennis really is, it's a lot easier to understand why he decided to send one of his 5 remaining N95 masks to a doctor or nurse whom he'd never met, to a state he had never visited. He has proven to us all that he has mastered the most important lessons a university has to offer. Today, it is about reflecting that spirit back onto him. I must extend my deepest appreciation to President Myers, who went all in with me on this. Initially, I contacted President Myers about the possibility of conferring an honorary degree to Dennis. After investigating the matter further, President Myers concluded that, although Dennis had achieved distinction in his community and his industry, an honorary degree implies that the usual academic rigors of the degree were somehow waived. Mr. Ruhnke's lifelong career in agriculture far exceed the appropriate industry equivalent to finishing those final 2 credits he needed to graduate in 1971. Which is why I'm so pleased that the degree President Myers will present to Dennis in just a few moments is not for show. Dennis is a Kansas agriculturalist in every sense of the word. Today, we're simply giving him the paperwork to make it official. Dennis, today is so well deserved, and by the way, happy birthday. I can't think of a better gift for you today, and one you so richly deserve. I know President Myers is proud beyond words to count you as a newly minted K-State alumnus, and I am proud beyond words to count you as a quintessential Kansan. President Myers.
Dennis, in just a minute, we'll ask you to come join us, but Before we do, let me confer the degree while you're still seated. And as the governor said, this is a real deal. This is not an honorary tribute. This is his degree. So by the authority of the people of the state of Kansas and the Kansas Board of Regents, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, and upon completion of degree requirements, I am pleased to confer upon Dennis Ruhnke in the graduating class of fall 1971 the degree that you have earned at Kansas State University. Congratulations. If you'd like to make your few remarks, Dennis, the microphone is yours.
Thank you. Bear with me. I think while we get up anymore, I can make it. I'm tough. Okay. If I can read. If you don't mind, I'm going to take this mask down. Oh, sweat. I've waited half a century to receive my college degree and had pretty much written off any chance of getting it. It would not have happened had I not mailed in that one N95 mask to Governor Cuomo for a first responder in March. I guess they call it karma. Many of those who wrote to me to thank me asked me how they could help. Just pay it forward as much as you can afford to do so, to honor all those who have lost their lives to the C-19 virus, and also to honor the first responders who in some cases even lost their own lives in the line of duty, the ultimate sacrifice. Nearly half of the many letters I received said that they were moved to tears when Governor Cuomo read my letter aloud. My life is forever changed. Special thanks to those of you who made this all happen for me. My wife Sharon, good friend and neighbor Thad Geiger, Governors Cuomo and Kelly of the great states of New York and Kansas, Richard Myers, President of Kansas State University, plus anybody else who deserves a shout out. You know who you are. Thank you very much once again.
To make this occasion complete, Dennis, every graduate gets a one-year membership in our Alumni Association. And a little token from the Alumni Association that will go well on your desk when it's not being used for a daycare center. Thank you, Governor.
I want to say again, congratulations to Dennis. This is so well deserved. I mean, you did all the work anyway. And I'm so glad that Governor Cuomo brought you to our attention so that we can make this event happen. Thank you all who were able to come. Appreciate it. And you take care. See you soon.